Hello, welcome back to Indian Knowledge System class series on my YouTube channel, My Intuition. Please do subscribe and support. Uh, Now, moving to the four divisions of each Veda. Uh, uh, there are four Vedas and there are further four divisions for each. What are those things? We just refer uh, to this. Okay, the Vedas among the which is the oldest and most revered scriptures in human history, which covers a vast range of knowledge from the ritualistic practices to deep spiritual philosophy. So, to make this uh, immense body of work more accessible and more purposeful, the rishis or the sage, the Vyasa, he divided each Veda into four key sections called Samhita, Brahmana, uh, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. Okay, so the first one, that is Samhita, it is the foundation which is made up of sacred hymns and the mantras, which is standard during the rituals to invoke the cosmic forces and the deities. Brahmana, not the Brahmins, the caste which is existing today. Brahmana is different. It provides the detailed instructions and the explanation of how and why these rituals are performed, serving as a guide or manual for the Vedic ceremonies. Then the Aranyaka, known as the Aranya, means the forest text. It is treated as forest text, which explores the symbolic meanings behind the rituals. When we do some rituals, there is some inner meaning for that. So explaining that uh, is Aranyaka, and it is very ideal for the rishis or the sages and the students, which is searching or seeking for a more reflective way of understanding. The Upanishad are the text which is tells or delve into profound spiritual insights, focusing on the the consciousness and the ultimate truth, that is the called as Brahman. Okay. Uh, Together, these four divisions, it reflects a journey from the outer ritual, which is the karma, to the inner wisdom, which is jnana. So it is journey from karma to jnana, showing how the Vedas are not just religious manuals, but a comprehensive guide to life and consciousness. Like Samhita, it focuses on mantras, hymns, priest rituals, they are the audience. Brahmana, it is the ritual meaning and the procedure, and it is used for a priest and the scholars. Aranyaka, symbolism and so as it is a philosophy, uh, called as thinkers, those who are thinking more about that. For them, it is the Aranyaka is the. Then Upanishad, the spiritual wisdom and inquiry, that is for the seekers of truth as well as the for the philosophers. Now we'll see one by one in a little bit detailed one. Samhita is taken first. It is the core text. It is the foundational layer of each Veda. It consists of poetic mantras and the hymns, which is composed in praise of various deities. And these verses are primarily used during the sacrificial rituals called the yajnas, or during the prayers and during invocation, or forming the heart of the Vedic ritual tradition. Among the four Vedas, the Rigveda Samhita is the most prominent, which contains around 10,552 uh, meticulously crafted verses reflecting the intellectual and spiritual brilliance of ancient India. So the hymns, it addresses the natural forces and the divine beings, and showing up personified as gods such as Indra, so it as the god of thunder and as well as the god of war. Then Agni, the god of fire, as well as the mediator between gods and the human beings. Through Agni only the human beings talk to the gods. Then Varuna, it is the guardian of the cosmic order, and Mitra, it symbolizes the friendship as well as the harmony. These deities, they were invoked not only for the material well-being, but also for the spiritual upliftment as well as for the cosmic balance. So, what especially here noteworthy is the inclusivity of Vedic wisdom over more than 400 rishis, the sages, which contributed to the Samhita texture, even which includes about 25 female sages. Then some of the names of the sages are also mentioned in the book, like Lopamudra, Ghosha, Apala, who are even composed their own hymns. So their presence, it emphasizes that the the knowledge as well as the spiritual expression was open to both men and women in Vedic culture also. So thus Samhita stands as it's a poetic philosophical gateway to the Vedas, which blends the devotion, rituals, and the cosmic understanding in its verses. Next comes the Brahmanas, which are the section of Veda which function as the uh, or which provides the detailed explanation of how and why the rituals are performed, the meaning of doing a ceremony or a ritual. So while Samhita focuses on the actual mantras and hymns, Brahmanas it more involved into its procedural as well as the symbolic aspects of the Vedic rituals. So it explains the purpose behind every offering, the significance of each mantra, and the precise instruction for conducting the rituals, right from building the, the altar. Altar means the place where the yajna is conducted. It's a uplifted platform called altar, and choosing the correct materials for the particular rituals, and determining exact timing for performing that yajna. Okay, so many things are considered. The environmental conditions, the everything is considered, and then it is conducted, and it has got a meaning, inner meaning why it is we are doing so and so. That is explained it in the Brahmana, and it makes them very the indispensable for the Vedic priests as well as scholars, helping to ensure the rituals are performed in uh, alignment with the Rudha, the cosmic order. The order is called as Rudha. Okay, each Veda has its own Brahmanas for Yajurveda, Samaveda, or Atharva Veda, or Rigveda. For example, the uh, Aitareya Brahmana, which are associated with the Rig Veda, which provides very detailed interpretation of the rituals which are performed for kingship or the social duties. Then the Shatapada Brahmana, which is linked to the Shukla Yajurveda, is one of the most voluminous as well as most philosophically rich text, which covers the rituals like the Ashwamedha, the the horse sacrifice that we know, Ashwamedha, and exploring the cosmological themes. The Tandya Mahabrahmana, which is also known as the Panjavimsha Brahmana, it tried to it is tied to the Samaveda. Okay, it focuses on more on musical chanting and the liturgical aspects of rituals performing during the Soma sacrifices. So the Brahmanas, it bridges the outer ritual actions with the inner meaning, offering a very glimpses into how ancient rishis they designed ceremonies to reflect and uphold the cosmic harmony in society. So they understood what is happening and what should happen and how we can contribute our energy towards that. So they performed such type of rituals in the form of rituals. A group of people will come together and they will perform. That is the inner meaning that is detailedly explained in Brahmana, so that people who are guiding they can guide in a proper way to perform the rituals. Then comes the Aranyaka. Aranyaka means forest. The meaning, actual meaning, Aranyaka word meaning, uh, which are composed for the for the people who are seeking knowledge seekers, who have so many doubts, why it happened again, why it happened, why so, like that. Too much curiosity are there in few people. Okay, for them, Aranyaka is given. These texts they are not for mass ritualistic use, but only for those who are entering the Vanaprastha stage of life. That is the third stage of the Hindu ashrama system, a time when the gradual withdrawal from the worldly duties and increasing focus on the spiritual growth. For them, we call it as the Vanaprastha stage. For them, the Aranyaka is mainly meant. Unlike the Brahmanas, which explains how to perform the rituals, the Aranyaka it mainly focuses more on why the rituals matter on a personal or the internal level. So they explore the symbolic and the psychological dimensions of Vedic ceremonies, uh, offering inner meanings behind the outer acts, the other act which is being performed. Okay, so the Aranyaka it serves as a transition between the ritual focused Brahmanas and the spiritually rich Upanishads. Okay, so we are moving to Upanishad next. So the the people of Aranyakas they are less concerned with the physical performances and more with mental purification, more with the reflection and as well as self awareness. So these teachings they helped the seekers to move beyond formal worship to the contemplation of universal truth, such as the nature of the soul or the Atman, the life, death, and the cosmos. So they teach that rituals are not just actions, but opportunities to uh, discipline and discipline the mind and to awaken the inner self. So thus the Aranyakas it reflects significant philosophical shift which encourages the practitioners to go beyond the visible offerings and engage in inner sacrifice where ignorance is burned away and the wisdom it arises. Okay. Now the wisdom, the spiritual wisdom, that is the Upanishad, uh, Upanishad represents the final and the most profound portion of the Veda, which focuses on the spiritual philosophy, self-inquiry, rather than the ritual or the social duty. So, which marks the transition from the external religious practices to the internal spiritual understanding. Unlike the other parts or earlier parts of Vedas, which focus or emphasizes on the rituals as well as on ceremonies, the Upanishad it explores the concepts like the Atman. Atman is the individual soul, and the Brahman. Brahman is the ultimate, the reality, pervading reality, which we say, and as well as the moksha, that is liberation of the cycle of birth and death. So the core idea of Upanishad is that the divine is not separated from us; it is within us. This is captured in the famous uh, great saying, the Mahavakya, like Tattvamasi. Tat Tvam Asi means you are that, which is pointing to the unity of the individual soul and the universal consciousness. The Upanishads are written in dialogues and question answer format, which often between a teacher and a student, or between a king and the rishis, making the philosophy which is available or accessible, and it is reflective. So they use the symbolism or stories to explain the deep truth. For example, the Katha Upanishad, it uses the analogy of a chariot to explain the human life. The body is the chariot, the mind it is the wheel, make it over move ahead. The intellect is the driver or the charioteer, and soul is the rider. Okay, the Taittiriya Upanishad it discusses different layers of human existence, like the physical, vital, intellectual, mental, and blissful, which gives a guidance to how to lead a balanced and meaningful life. So there are more than 108 Upanishad, though around 10 to 13 are considered the principal due to their clarity as well as depth. So these texts it continues to be studied or meditated upon, and it is quoted by the seekers of philosophers and the spiritual teachers across generations. Upanishads are the soul of the Veda, guiding the individuals towards self-realization, so towards inner peace and the ultimate freedom. Okay, that's about the uh, four divisions of each Veda, like Samaveda, Samhita, Brahmana, uh, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. Hope it was useful to understand some of the concepts that we never learned. Thank you very much.